Uh, do you like animals?
Well, I may say that I don't have deep passions in watching or caring for animals, but I think that find sometimes I find exciting when I see them, like for example in neighbor's house or
Yeah, of course. So actually, it's like you can say that no, you are not the one for animals, but it's like, you are not really interested in spending time or having them. But totally, sometimes maybe you enjoy, I don't know, watching or seeing them, maybe some in others people's house like this. Well, actually, uh, tell me about, you know, uh, wild animals. So first of all, let me ask you, if you're afraid or do you have fear of any types of animals?
I used to fear wild animals such as lion, tiger, or cheetah when I was much smaller. But after a couple of times going to the zoo and witness them with my naked eyes, I just think that they are just species, and if they are chained, they are not harmful to people.
Yeah, and what animals do you think are more friendly to human being?
Mm, in wild animals or both.
I think domestic, so of course, because when it comes to wild animals, we can't actually,
Yeah,
uh, yeah, say
I
that.
think dog. I think dog is the most loyal and friendly animal, and I think that they can be a companion friends to people.
Yeah, of course, very good. Well, and tell me about your country. Are people in your country fond of animals?
I think so. Especially youngster and in fact nowadays, uh, instead of uh, instead of getting married and having child, they tend to live alone and having a pet or sometimes two or three pets because they
Yeah,
think keeping pets in their house uh, can keep them exciting and like a sense of belonging.
yeah, it's something like, yeah, having a good relationship. So especially like, because in actually most of, I don't know, of course, I can't say about every country, but most country people believe that, yeah, they're a member of families, so like especially cats, dogs. So when it comes to pets, so of course, so nowadays we have some strange type of animals. So it's like, people are used to keeping them as pets, but of course, I'm not talking about that type, just normal pets. Well, let's talk about wildlife. So first of all, I want to know, and I want to ask you about the importance of wildlife and maybe wild animals to nature and to our lives. First of all, if they're important, do you think wild animals are important and we need to take care, conserve them?
Hmm, the first reason I can think of for their importance is that they offer a valuable um, diversity of uh, diversity, which offer which I think that I have read once that it's offer many advantage to their habitats. For example, because of in order to cater their demand for diet, people may have to people may have to invest more in restore and protecting their ecosystem, which means that they have to plant more trees and investing in building ecosystem for them, so
Yeah.
that we can also benefit from that, which increase the
Yeah.
quality of environment.
Yeah, of course. So you can say that, as I got from your speech, killing animals and maybe damaging, so like can put the ecosystem out of balance. So let me write, I'm sharing. Yes, I'm sharing. Okay, so as you said, killing animals, yeah, of course, I do agree because they're important. Okay, can put the ecosystem out of balance. Yeah, and I do agree with you. It's really important. So, tell me how, really, how human, so I'm talking about people, human, how we damage maybe natural habitats, how we actually damage wildlife, you think?
I think the most significant involved human activity is destroy their habitats by
Yes.
cutting down trees and by cutting down trees and polluting the sea quality. Um, Animals can be contaminated by drinking the water, and
Of course.
they have nowhere to live because their habitats are destroyed.
Yeah.
The other thing I can think of is that they hunt animals, especially wild animals, for for example, tigers for medicine, and
Yes.
for and they further for decorations.
Of
Um,
course.
and over time, that's lead to many bad consequences.
Yeah, of course, and I do definitely do agree with you. So the first one, yeah, we say haunt, kill animals. Well, different actually words can be used here. So if we want to use more specific words, the first one is to poach. So poaching maybe is the first thing that, the first type of killing animals. As you said, killing animals illegally for some reasons, not for eating. Okay, so not for food. So to kill an animal illegally. So it can be for the skin, for the fur. Okay, so it depends. And the normal and actually the common word that we normally use to haunt, that you chase and kill an animal. So this one is really important. So hunting, like of course we have the same things among animals. They chase, they follow each other and kill. So especially so to haunt, that is to chase and kill an animal. So this one, and the third one, this one, because it's IELTS, of course, you know that we need to use some different words. So slaughter. So this one, slaughter, that is to kill, livestock. So it can be any creature, stock, usually for food. So slaughter. So it depends on what people do. But about the first one, especially poaching, when it comes to endangered animals, so you know that actually some animals are in danger of extinction. For example, the polar bear. So to be in danger of extinction. So the verb that you can use for extinction is become or be. Become extinct, or for example, be, because they are endangered. endangered animals. So of course you're poaching endangered animals for different reasons. And of course we have another phrase that you can use, that is to be a threatened species. Species types, you know. So yeah, it's really, and as you said, so we need to do something for our, maybe for natural habitats. So animals that live actually in different areas, and for especially some rare species. So let me ask you another question. Of course, it's part one. So tell me about actually cities. Do you think cities are suitable places for keeping a pet, or keeping, some people are keeping wild animals? So do you think cities are suitable places?
I think I think keeping pets in I think keeping pets it's ideal whether people live in cities or living in countryside. However, for for wildlife animal, it's only ideal to keep them in the zoo and in specialized habitats. The first reason is that the quality. The first reason is that the habitats in cities it's totally different to the forest, which home to many wildlife animals. Um, in terms of air quality and food source. Um, so that mm, therefore I think that wildlife animal cannot thrive in the city, and be they cannot stay for a long time.
Yeah, of
And
course.
the
Mhm.
other reason I can think of is that people may scare them, and there are regulations. There
Yeah.
are certain regulations related to
Yeah,
animals
of course.
policy.
Yeah, of course, of course. Maybe not all people need to be familiar, and, for example, need to maybe get familiar with wild, especially, with animals, even pets. So some people, some people are phobia, some people, for example, are scared of different types of animals. It's not something that you control it. So of course, so maybe specifically, when it comes to pets, so it's really difficult to, of course, because they need to more space. They need to live in wild. So, or we have another word, wilderness. So they need to, not in cities. Okay, so this can be, I don't know, jungle or a desert, or for example, sea. So it depends. Well, let me ask another question about part one. And tell me about so have you ever, so thought about, of course, in the past maybe, or present, so have you ever thought about, I don't know, people, or for example, about you yourself, having something unusual at home, an animal, I mean, as a pet?
Mm, actually, no, because I'm currently living in an apartment, and there's a strict policies regarding keeping animals. Even pets, even familiar like pets or cats, have to be have to be placed in this in another kind of elevator, and they have to prove that they are harmless to other people by checking health annually. um, so I think that it's really hard for me and people around me to keep a unusual pet.
Yeah, of course, of course. So when it comes to culture, is this a part of your culture? Keeping animals and keeping pets is a part of your culture that people are really familiar, or no? It's something that people are getting familiar or becoming familiar step by step.
I think for a really long time, my countries consider dogs and cats to be friend with them because in previous generation they act as a security for to work their house, to protect their house, so that for a long time it's been like our cultural value to protect and to be friends with them.
Yeah, control value, you said.
Sorry.
I couldn't get the word that you said. Could you say again? Because I couldn't get the word that you said. The last line.
I mean, for a long time, we consider pets like dogs and cats to be friends with us rather than a pet in our house.
Yeah, of course, of course. So let me ask you about domestic animals. Of course, I mean a kind of pet, but not just, cats and dogs. So domestic animals. So tell me about, I don't know, having some domestic animals at home, especially in rural life. Is this something common, acceptable?
Um, Sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah, of course, except for dogs and cats, we have different species, different types of domestic animals, like for example, horse, like for example, I don't know, chicken, and different types,
Oh,
sheep. And I want to know if it's something common, acceptable in your country, especially in rural life.
oh yeah. Talking about rural life, in my country, cows, buffalo, and pigs are the most common one that they keep in our house for their profit. For example, buffalo and cow, they can be a really useful assistant in their agricultural work. And for pigs, especially, they often bring them up, bring them up, and after that, for when the pig is fat enough, they slaughter them for meat and for food sauce.
Yeah, of course, perfect. Well, and my next question. Okay, so we're going to start part two. Okay, of course, it's again about wild animal. And let me write on the bird. So you need to describe a wild animal. So describe a wild animal. And you should say, okay, what that animal is, what it looks like, where it lives, and explain how feel about it. Okay, you can think about it. And then just while you're thinking about it, may I ask you 1 minute to check something?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm done preparing.
Very good. Okay, let's get started.
So I will tell you about a common wildlife animal, which is the tiger. So basically, tiger is a carnivore animals which their diet largely come from meat. So it is their instinction to hunt and kill other pets for their food source. I think that tiger is the symbol of wild animals. When most people when are asked are asked about wildlife animals, they often refer it to the tiger. Um, and for and regarding the appearance, it can be referred like a giant cat the because it's um, giant cat, which is for the eyes. It looks exactly to the cats, and moreover, they have stripes on their further on the back, and sharp teeth for killing and hunting. Mostly tigers live in jungle forests and the zoo, but nowadays it's become an endangered species. So people want to protect and restore their breeding, but therefore they tend to keep them under control. Personally, I used to fear tiger as the other types of harmful animals that can kill people. But nowadays, when I read more with the real experience, I feel sorry for them for being hunted for personal profit. For example, people often poach them for for medicine or maybe for decoration, and over time this have lead to many consequences. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
very good. Okay, perfect. And thank you. So, yeah, you discussed tiger, commonly found wild animals. So, wildlife, let me say something about wildlife. Animals that live in wild and nature wildlife are called. So you don't say wildlife animal, just wildlife. But here it's better to say that a wild animal, okay? So or only wild, so you can say. So as you said, tiger, a commonly found wild animal. So of course you can talk about it, so that is a commonly found, so it's and it belongs, you said refer, but I said it belongs to cat species, so you can say that. And of course here it's not about, because the question is, as you can see here, you need to give maybe provide me with more details. So because what's the animals and what it looks like, that was really good. But when I say what, not only you need to, for example, okay, about maybe it grows up to, well, I think about 10 feet. So for example, or about its weight, you can talk if you have any information, or it's not important. I don't know. I say, I don't know, 100 kilogram, I don't know, something like that. Just I want you to explain more, okay? So you need to talk about maybe its weight, and for example you can say that it grows up to, I don't know, 10 feet, 11 feet, 12 feet, I'm not sure about it, just I heard something about it. And maybe the age, for example, the common, they can live maybe up to, as I know, about 25 or 26 years. So you can say, so this is about the beginning. And about habitat, where to live. So that is really important. This animal, because you know that actually it's a big size animal, so this animal requires a larger, of course, habitats. Guys, first to live, and that is really important. They need to hunt. They need to hunt and they need to kill all the animals to eat. So they need enough space. So you can say that they require a larger habitat that is capable, why not? You can say of accommodating the prey as well. Okay, and the meaning of prey. Some animals are hunter. Some other animals are killed by the other animals and are eaten. So they are prey, like a rabbit. So they need actually enough room, enough space to hunt and to find prey and to kill animals to eat. So this is the beginning. So for the first part. Okay, and about the next one. So, yeah, you describe this, and that was good. Where it lives. Okay, so that's really important. Yeah, you talked about. This type of animal that is endangered animal, maybe it will become extinct, of course, especially in some species. And but yeah, you can say it looks like, yeah, it was really good because it really actually, it can be maybe a large size, actually similar to domestic cats. Yeah, eyes and I don't know, face. Yeah, that was really good. And but of course, much powerful, much bigger. So you need to briefly talk about differences. And yeah, the color, reddish orange. So that's really important. Or so it's reddish orange. So maybe with some, I don't know, black stripes. Yeah, tiger has black stripes. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, with black stripes. I'm not sure about the, yeah, it was tiger with black stripes. Yeah, and we have another one with black spots. I'm not sure which one was tiger. Okay, we have different animals. So of course with black stripes, so you can mention this. And okay, uh, that was good, but that was not enough. I can say that. Where? So the habitat, of course, they live in forest, but where? You know where it can be found normally.
I think it's. I think nowadays most of the tiger are found in cages under control of people.
Of course, yeah. So I can say that, but the natural, when it comes to natural habitat, of course, they belong to, I think, eastern and maybe southeastern of Asia. So because of this, for example, in India, in China, and maybe Malaysia, I'm not sure about this, and of course your country said so, of course your country. So because of this, so you can generally talk about it, okay? And that was really good. So you talked about this and your concerns. That was good, okay? And yeah, they are, unfortunately, so you can say, tigers on a rapid extinction. So tigers are on a rapid, really quick extinction. Maybe in the future we won't have any types of them, but so we need to conserve. Okay, and of course they're really important, as I told you, to maybe maintain a balanced ecosystem. So that's really important to maybe to take and to have, I don't know, to have them, to save them, to conserve them. in order to have a balanced ecosystem. So that was really good. Well, okay. Just let me think if I need to give you more alternatives about this one. Okay, so we talked about endangered, so you know that there are different words that you can use, and about their natural habitat. So if it's desert, so if no, you need to talk about them. And well, just let me ask you another question. Now, how we can protect? Of course, we need to protect endangered animals, but how? Tell me what, some methods, some ways to protect natural habitat and endangered animals.
Um, well, first measure I can think of it's to passing strict is to release strict regulations and policies in terms of human activities on natural habitats and endangered animals. I think that governments, state authorities should ban people from killing them illegally for their personal profits, um, and um, so that we can prevent the mass extinction of animals. Um, and the other measure I can think of is to raise people awareness how how ecosystem are out of balance if we continue to poach, to kill, to hunt animals and to destroy their habitat, and that's directly influence our health on public health. Um, so so once the awareness are understood, they will not do it anymore.
Yeah, very good. Okay, that was really good. Thank you. So here you meant, first of all, the best thing, of course, as you said, we need to do even actually illegal. So we need to do our beat. For example, I myself, I need to do my beat. So this is the first one that you can say, everyone, to do my beat. So it's something like just maybe a little, but we need to do something in order to protect. Okay, so I need to play my part. So everyone needs to play their parts to save and to protect natural habitat. That's really important. And yeah, so especially about maybe the governments. So maybe raise the first one. So for example, awareness of people, that's really important. So we need to try, they need to try. So the better word, as you know, make an effort, make an effort. And another one that is really good one that you can use, endeavor. So government should endeavor, try to, for example, protect. Maybe as you said, it should be banned. So for example, we need to be careful about our natural and, for example, some these type of animals, especially endangered species. So first of all, we can say we can set off some conservation centers like zoos. So we need to conserve, protect. So why not? We can set up conservation centers. First one. And stop poaching and hunting. Another one. Here you can show that you know the difference between poach and hunt. You talked about actually at the beginning of your speech, you talked about deforestation, cutting down trees, and it was really good. Of course, we need to stop and reduce deforestation. You know that cutting down trees, because actually these trees are their habitat. So we need to, and as I told you, we need to raise awareness, of the issue. It can be through social media, especially nowadays, social media. And sometimes maybe providing, this is actually small, maybe scale, in small scale, we can say that providing food and shelter, especially for some street animals, sometimes we can find them, so why not? Okay, it can be good. And that is really important. Sometimes we think that we are doing something good, It's okay. We want to change their habitat. We want to help them. So stop interfering with their habitat. That is really important. Don't interfere with their habitat. That is really important, because we think that, okay, we are doing so. And the next one, why not, if we help them to reproduce, to breed, to reproduce, so we can say we can help, especially the endangered animals, to breed. You notice that is to produce, reproduce, of course. I think this one is a really good one. So we help them to have more of them. And there is another, I want to ask you this question because we nowadays, of course, it's really, it can be a trend. So we have stop buying products that come from hunted animals. So especially this one, or not only buying products that's like, for example, I did a leather, or for example, fur, natural, but sometimes here nowadays, when it comes to cosmetic and products, that they have animal tests. And
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and it's like a trend. Most of people stop buying these type of products because of course it hurts, and how it can be suffering for the animals, just because they want to produce something that is healthy for humans. So I think this one can be really good. So tell me, first of all, tell me your opinion about this. So animal test on cosmetic products. So what do you think?
Actually, I think that it's kind of controversial because some people think that animal tests can improve the quality of product, and it's checked on animals means that it can use on person, and can use on human. Um, and there are other kind which only use vegan ingredients. Um, However, I think that cosmetics that do not use animal that do not come from animals check are more expensive to cosmetic which use animal tests because they need further technology to develop and to improve the quality, and because if the products are expensive, people mostly not choose them to use,
Yeah.
so that the problem just continue to raise. But I think every people know about the problem, but it's not really easy to stop them from buying and using products that use animal check.
Yeah, of course, of course. And tell me about you yourself. Do you buy? It's not related to this one, but just I want to know if you buy or no, or you check. So because normally when we want to buy something, so we check if it's actually that. a
Uh,
product pet? Yeah.
well, personally, because so my skin is so sensitive, so
Uh,
I tend to buy something vegan and not contains silicones or fragrance. And I think it's also environmental friendly. Even the packaging is not it's not in plastic.
yeah, of course. Maybe you can find sometimes, we don't buy something really, I don't know. Especially, that some brands or I don't know, some products with really perfect and something like eye-catching packages, and you say, wow, that's really perfect colors. But it's like, yeah, when we think about it, it's kind of violent. We see that as violence against animals that we need to do. And, in one way, we need to protect, and how we need to stop, as you said, buying. So why not? No matter. So we can have more, maybe, of course, they're healthier, I think, eco-friendly, environmental friendly, and why not? They're really good for maybe not now, next generation, because actually it's a process that takes time. So, but maybe in the future we will have better life for animals. Well, let's keep going with part three of speaking. So I want to ask about the pets, the common actually, and the most popular pets in your country. Dog or cat or any other type of it.
I think the majority of um, no. Well, based on my experience, this depends on different personalities rather than culture or traditions. For example, people who are introvert and less socialized and less sociable, they tend to keep a cat as a pet because cats it's believed to have the same personality with them. And in contrast, people who are extrovert, who are sociable, and um, who who love lively life tend to have more love to be a dogaholic uh,
Yeah,
because I think that dog is much friendlier than cat,
yeah, of course.
and they act as a com- a friend, a loyal friends for people. Um, yeah, that bring a sense of motivation and fulfillment for people.
Of course, of course. Actually, that was really interesting view because I've never thought about it. So yeah, normally people think about cats and dogs. So yeah, some would rather cats, some would prefer dogs. But yeah, it's like not introvert because about cats especially, their character are really interesting. Actually, it's like, my friend has a cat, and I all the time tell her that, I think you are her pet. It's like just, sit, yeah, really, just sitting and, just not to move, not do anything like that. Okay, I need to rest. I need to, for example, it just this. What about dogs? Friendly, naughty, and they're kind. They do everything to make you happy. But cats, oh, you are my owner. That's okay. Just close the door. It's a bit cold like this, really. Because I
Yeah,
especially so because of this, yes. If you are introvert, you don't actually have to expect for a lot of energy and I don't know activity with cats. On the other hand, dog really active and they do everything. That's really important. They do everything to make you happy. And so I think, yeah. So I'm a big fan of dogs. So about cats, I don't know. They're selfish, I think. Well, so what are some of the advantages and disadvantages of having a pet? So let's talk about it.
yeah. I have read once. On the one hand, I have read once that if we have children, letting them have early exposure to pets, especially dogs, can have a good benefit on their health because they have better resilience on bacteria, which can improve the immune system.
Yeah.
Uh, and talking about disadvantages, well, sometimes I experience pets that um, that they are too naughty and and they accidentally um, break our things, break our furniture in the house, and sometimes it makes us angry and sometimes it's bring annoying to people.
So like, some actually reactions, some quick reactions, sometimes it happens. Yeah, of course. But, yeah, you're definitely right. So the first advantage that you discussed, I think the most important one, they are very great playmates, especially for children. So if you have a child, so I think the most important advantage is to have maybe dog to have a good playmate. So why not? So because they are
Yep.
great. But about, as you said, yeah, of course, I do agree with you. So sometimes they are a bit I don't know, uncontrolled. So we can't control them because they're naughty. They are really playful. So especially dogs, they're really playful, naughty. But another maybe disadvantage, if we can say disadvantage, is that pets are really expensive to feed
Oh,
and
yeah.
care for, of course. So they are expensive to feed and care for. So and they require, that is really important, they require plenty of time. Okay, of course, depending on the type of pet. So it's really, you need to spend a lot of time, especially with dogs. So sometimes we see that some pets just become depressed because they are alone at home for long hours. So I think we need to be careful about this point. That is really important. And let me ask another question. Do you think there should be laws to protect the welfare, the benefits of pets and farm animals? So we should have this law to protect them.
Well, um, yeah, definitely. I believe that animals also have spirit. Animals are spiritual um, to that a lot. That it's the same with people, and they are also living creature. So they need policies and law to be protect and to be feed uh, and to be cared for. Um, and however, I think that in my country, for example, people do not place much value um, and importance on them, so that they just for especially for farming animals, they just treat them for their own benefits um, rather than
Yeah.
treating like living creature.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. So that's really important to maybe have nearly equal maybe laws protecting welfare of animals. So that's really important. Yeah, because yeah, people should be responsible enough, to treat pets and, for example, farm animals. As you said, normally it's like an abusement. They only think about their actually benefits and what they need, especially when it comes to farm animals. So I think they need to be more responsible, and they need to have some rights. So of course, being so selfish, too selfish to care. I think some people are too selfish to care animals. And another question, tell me if there are any animals in your country that are not found in any other countries, if you have any information about it.
Um, well, I don't think so. Uh, that based on my experience, there's no like very unique species in my country.
Yeah, so no. And well, tell me, uh, maybe the last question can be okay. Tell me about the purpose of having zoos. So really, what is the purpose of having zoos?
Well, there are two reasons I can think of right now. The first one is that it's offer an insight of wildlife animal to to cater the demand of curiosity for people, especially children nowadays, who live in the urban city, and they have so that there's a low connection between them and with the nature environment. And the other reason I can think of is that capturing animals in cage may be a better way to protect them from from the from the habitat destruction. I mean, and to and keeping them in a zoo means that they can receive health check and food source daily, um, and they do not have to hunt um, for ex- uh, for wildlife animal. They do not have to run to hunt, and for animals like rabbits or goats, they can be protected by preventing not to be the prey for bigger animals.
So totally you agree because I didn't get if you totally agree or disagree with maybe something like captivating animals. So because keeping them in actually I don't know specific place, a closed place. So do you agree?
Uh, yeah.
Yeah, right, really, you agree. Okay, very good. Well, and we have only 3 minutes, but I have more questions. Okay, it's okay. Well, and so I need to maybe I will ask you more questions later because I have some idioms. Let me say something. Actually, I wanted to teach you some idioms, but they are not related. They are useful idioms that we use, but not actually the meaning of animal. Just we use, some animals, maybe the words related to animals, okay, in these idioms. So it's not bad to know them. I will do something. I will send these idioms because it's actually there is nothing about them, so you can easily learn them. I will send you the idiom, the meaning, and one example so that you know how to use them. Okay. Well, and just, maybe a few words that, at the beginning of the next session, I will give you some alternatives. We have maybe 3 or 4 questions and a bit, maybe some words that you need to learn, and that's it. Okay. Do you have any questions related to this part?
No.
Okay, very good. Well, so have a great day and enjoy your trip and great
Yeah.
time with family and see you. Goodbye.
You too, and thank you for today.
Welcome. Goodbye.